Hello everyone, you are the latest market news on May the 4th, 2021. Bill Gates divorces his wife after a long marriage. Microsoft CEO Bill Gates and his wife Melinda announced their divorce. The couple's joint statement was published on the businessman's Twitter account. Bill and Melinda Gates noted that for 27 years of marriage, they raised 3 children and created a charitable foundation which operates around the world. According to Forbes, the estate of Gates is estimated at $124 billion. He ranks 4th in the world and 3rd in the U.S. on the list of the richest people. The businessman owns 1.37% of Microsoft shares, which are worth more than $26 billion. In his announcement of the divorce, the billionaire did not mention the division of assets with his wife. In 2019, the world's richest man, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, $177 billion, divorced his wife, Mackenzie Scott. During the proceedings, Bezos gave his ex-wife a 4% stake in his company that valued at $38.3 billion. Stock markets rise on signs of pandemic recovery. Global equity markets were mostly positive Tuesday as investors anticipated signs of recovery from the coronavirus pandemic as the world's largest economies resumed operations. In early futures trading, the FTSE index pointed to a 0.3% gain at the open. Euro Stoxx 50 futures were unchanged, and the S&P 500 futures pointed to a 0.24% decline in the U.S. The broadest MSCI index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan rose just 0.13% in afternoon Asian trading in a session thinned by holidays in China and Japan. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index rose 0.33%. The moderately positive tone in Asia broadly matched what was seen on Wall Street overnight, where positive earnings, news of the reopening of cities, and a dovish Federal Reserve stance helped offset a disappointing manufacturing activity report. Buffett reveals his top-secret successor's name. The head of Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, finally named his successor. Until then, the legendary investor had kept information about who would take over the hedge fund a secret. Since 1965, Buffett has turned Berkshire Hathaway into a $628 billion empire with dozens of businesses. The 90-year-old billionaire told CNBC that hedge fund vice president Greg Abel, in charge of the non-insurance business, would be the new CEO. The directors agree that if something happens to me tonight, Greg will take over tomorrow morning, he said. Abel was seen as a possible successor as Berkshire CEO along with Ajit Jain, the company's vice president. Earlier, Buffett's successor was accidentally named in the fund's online shareholder meeting on Saturday. European banks to create MasterCard's competitor. The largest European banks and financial companies want to create a payment corporation which will be able to compete in the market with U.S. services. They already have raised 30 million euros for this purpose. With the help of the European platform, it will be possible to pay online and in stores, transfer money, and withdraw cash from ATMs. According to Joachim Schmalzl, head of the European Payment Initiative (EPI), the idea is to create a European payment champion that can stand up to PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, Google, and Apple. Among the developing the service are Deutsche Bank, ING, UniCredit. They process more than half of all payments in Europe. In Europe, card payments are mostly handled by U.S. companies. According to Eurocommerce, 4 out of 5 transactions in the EU are handled by MasterCard and Visa.